Wow. Awesome, God. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Motherhood with Dignity. I am your host, Fishola Akiyemi, and today we are diving into a topic that I know it weighs heavily on many of our hearts. When perfection hurts, teaching our children it's okay to fail. And so, why is this topic so important? You will agree with me that there is so many anxiety. There is rising anxiety among moms, among youths, among youths, uh, especially maybe there's pressure from social media, academic competition, and all that. And so the pressure on children and mothers, especially, on being trying to be perfect, it's immense. However, we're having an open conversation today, and this conversation, I believe, is going to be very valuable to us. So I'm grateful to be joined by these wonderful, incredible women today, Tosi and Trish. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much, Sophie.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have known these ladies for quite over 3 decades. And I know that today you are going to be hearing a wealth of wisdom from them. And so I'm so blessed to be in their space. And we're so blessed to also have them in our space, a dignity of womanhood. So let's get to know who our guests are. I know them, but I know that you need to know them as well. So let's know who you are. So you're going to let us know what you do, and who you are, what you do, and most importantly, what motherhood means to you. So I'm going to start with Trish Omokawaye.
Okay, so my name is Trish Omokonwaye, and I'm a public speaker. I'm a nurse as well. I think I have my hands in many pudding. I'm also an IT consultant. Motherhood, I think my biggest passion is public speaking because it allows me to share and to learn and to impact people a lot. Motherhood to me is what I call a training ground. Nobody gives you a manual to start, and nobody gives you an award when you finish, So, but it's a learning ground for all of us, and motherhood to everybody is different. But what for me personally, motherhood to me has been a joyful thing. Not just mothering my own children, but being able to mentor a lot of other young children, ladies now, some of them even getting married, just being able to be there for people and to be able to impact lives for me, that is motherhood. Because I think motherhood is, you have to see motherhood bigger than your own little nuclear family. Thank you.
That's awesome. I love that. See motherhood bigger than your own nuclear family. That's awesome. Great. Thank you so much, um, Mrs. Trish Omokonwaye. Thank you. All right. Tosin.
Yes, hello everybody. Hello ladies and gentlemen, if we have any on the platform. I go by Tosin Akinlade. And I went to school. I studied geology in the university, but I never worked a day as a geologist. I'm an ardent businesswoman. I mean, that's the core of my being. And I have a few ventures. Let me call them ventures. So I'm the CEO, managing director of Ijinu fashion, jewels by Tosi, custom made jewels and beaded jewelries. I have Ashoke now and ever, and I have the Delightful Store, which is I have in Nigeria. So I currently reside in New York, and I'm a mom of two beautiful babies. Motherhood to me has been is like a ministry to me. I mean, it's life. It's a privilege to be mothers to a biological children um and non-biological children if we have any around us. I mean, motherhood, I would not trade it for anything. I was a stay-at-home mom for the better part of my children's lives, hands-on to the core, and it's just an absolute pleasure to just be mothers to my children, and just because I believe children are God's gift to humanity, to mothers, to our families. So it's a job, it's a position I take very seriously, and it means everything to me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am hearing a lot, very deep things from you already, even from your introduction. You see, you said something. Motherhood is a ministry. And Trish said, you see motherhood as more than your nuclear family. These are phenomenal things that every mother needs to hear. And I want to say thank you so much. Thank you once again for being here with me. Thank you for coming on this show to enlighten our mothers. So let's start. Let's start. So let me start by asking, and I'm going to be asking Trish this question. When you hear the word perfection as a mom, what comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is fear, because everybody expects perfection, but really, the only person that has been perfect is God Almighty. And we put so much pressure on ourselves. So people, as I know, every mother at some point, you would have felt judged. Maybe, oh, your child is crying too much, your child is eating too much, your child is not eating enough, your child is sleeping too much, your child is not sleeping enough. That word perfection, as a mom, I think it's almost like a traumatic word, because the society has made it into something you can say is almost impossible. We all want our children, or you all want to be a perfect mother. You want to do things right. And when everybody is expecting perfection, you're scared to fail. And it is impossible not to, because that's how we grow. From failing, then you relearn it, then you grow. So the word perfection, it's supposed to be flawless, but I think we need to change that mentality, especially with our children and the next generation, that perfection does not mean you don't have any flaws. It means you're working towards perfection. Nobody can ever be perfect, but to encourage that, like, we're all working towards it. So I think for most mothers, they don't like that word, like perfection as a mother. How do you attain that? It's almost like an impossible task. But if you see it more as a goal, then it's easier to work towards than an expectation.
Wow, awesome. Perfection means you have flaws, but you are working towards it. That's a very oh my goodness. It means you have flaws. So tell me of someone who is perfect, who feels he's perfect. That means the person have a lot of flaws that the person has worked on. Wow. See it as a goal, not as a task. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Trish. And I hope that our viewers are learning. I'm trying to see what they're saying. So okay, we're watching you. We're also listening to what you're saying here, and so please keep the comments going. We celebrate you all, everyone that is watching us right now on YouTube. Thank you so much. Okay. I will ask you this question, Tosin. Growing up, you were raised to be perfect. And I'm sure
Of course.
everyone can relate with this.
Yeah.
So let's ask, I want to be sure, were you raised to be perfect or were you given space to fail and learn?
Ah.
We came from different homes, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So that would make me go into my background a bit on that one. Because I think when I was 13, my family situation changed whereby a two-parent home became a one-parent home. So, and I'm one of six siblings, and now six siblings with being raised by a mom. So I had to grow up very quickly, being the first daughter of the family. And, my mom became the breadwinner, the sole breadwinner. So while she's out there hustling and going about her business, I was at home raising my little ones. And then I had a 6-month sister at that time and almost younger brother. And then I had my older siblings as well. So I became mom quickly at a very, very young age, maintaining the home, taking care of my siblings and being the mom to them, going to their school meetings. When it's time for school, I'm in charge of their uniforms and all that. So that gave me a lot of independence, but still, there's still that expectation of, because it's our culture. We have to be real here. Nobody likes to be portrayed in a bad light, especially not our parents. So as children, we have to maintain the status quo of perfect children. Meanwhile, perfect children from very imperfect and dysfunctional families and background, but you still have to put out this front like you were perfect kids. So there's always room to fail, but I would say there's room to fail, but I think it's just innate in us that we have to meet a certain standard that I don't know who set it, because our parents didn't come out to say, these are how I need you to be. But it's just something we picked from around us, that you can't embarrass your parents. You can't, let me use this word, Yoruba. You can't bow Jew our parents. So we have to maintain this status quo of perfect children. Do you understand? So obviously the expectation is there, but then with my background and my family setup, I was very independent. So I had a lot of room to grow and just do things independently as well. I don't know if that answers your question, but my growing up it was very flexible. There was a lot of flexibility there, being mom, quote unquote, to my siblings, but then you still had to maintain that perfect facade, or perfect children. Yeah, so that was my background.
Awesome. Thank you so much. There's something that I picked from what you said, that with our parents, with our background, there was no time they actually sat us down and say, this is what perfection means, and you have to be perfect this way. But we picked it from them.
Yeah.
We picked it from them. They're staring at us. They have cues to let us know that this is the way we want it to be. It's true. There is no family, most of the time, no family actually sat down to say, this is how you have to have all straight A's, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, but it's just
Yeah.
that.
I'm just going to jump in quickly, and God forbid
Right.
a neighbor, an auntie or uncle reports us for wrongdoing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we all try to avoid that,
Right. Which is awesome. It's in a good way, it helps us, but it's just that we're also looking at it like, who conditioned us this way anyway? We're going back to the basis, like, who actually conditioned us? How did we get here? And it's a good thing that we're discussing it. Thank you so much, Tosin. Thank you. So let me ask you, Trish. Um, The question is, do you think, in your view, that perfectionism comes from love or wanting the best, or from fear of judgment?
I think from our society, for our society where we've grown up, I think perfectionism, the need to be perfect, comes from what's the third option? To the need to be perfect. That's what was the I want to word it the way you said it.
Okay. The question is, do you think that the need to be perfect? I'm trying to.
Like, is it
I'm
from love
sorry.
or the need? I
You
think
mean
it's from
being
the need.
judged?
I think it's more to do
The
with the need to
Being
be
judged.
perfect.
To
Yes.
be judged. Right,
To be
right, right.
judged, yes. Because like Tosin mentioned, most of the time, there are things you would do at home that your parents would overlook. But as soon as somebody from the outside says something, it becomes a taboo. So you grow up and you think like, okay, so this thing is okay as long as nobody sees me doing it. Or if you like, you know, we all experience, maybe you have a friend growing up that got pregnant and they'll take the girl away from the area because they don't want that disgrace. They will take the girl maybe to the village, and maybe you may never see that girl again or see her again in 5 years' time, or the parents might even move completely from that area or from that state, because we are so inept with this judgment. We judge each other. We don't allow, everybody wants to be perfect. Everybody wants to be seen as the perfect family. You know, the Von Trump family. Everybody is dressed the perfect way. Everybody is driving the perfect car, the perfect house, the perfect school. My child cannot go to that school. You don't want people to see your, you know, and unfortunately, what it's created in us and what we experience a lot in our society is this fake life. It's coming from it, because we're trying to portray ourselves as who we're not. And it is very, very, in my own, I think it's a lot of hard work trying to live according to what the society expects you to, you know, that standard. And who created that standard? Who is judging that standard? In the reality, who is really judging that standard? Who said this is right and this is wrong? And I feel that we should teach ourselves to move towards, do I want my children to be perfect because I love them? Or do I want my children to be perfect because I don't want to be judged? If I don't want to be judged is your reason, then you are not even giving your children the tools to be perfect. Like Tosi explained, a lot is expected of us, but not much was given to us. You're just supposed to do. You're supposed to be this person, but nobody actually gave us the tools. Our parents were out working, hustling. You must do this. The house must be perfect. Your clothes must be perfect. I learned how to iron myself. Nobody taught me, but I knew if I didn't iron, I was in trouble. So you see, it's like, are we actually investing the time in our children to help them work towards the goal of being perfect? Or is it just an expectation we put on them because that is what we think the society wants to see? So I think, unfortunately, that need to be perfect it leans more towards the fact that people don't want to be judged rather than because of the deep love they have for their children. Not that they don't love their children, but, you know, I think the judgment carries a bigger weight for most parents than actual love for your children.
Right, right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Trish. I some years ago, one of my sons was not speaking age appropriately. And so anytime we get to church, and I have another child, we have another child in that church that is same age as my son. And my son was a little bit delayed in speaking appropriately. And that child, that one, she's a girl, and she talks and all that. and people were beginning, eyes were on me. Eyes were on my son as well, but eyes were on me majorly. And so, like you say, it's coming from that being judged. And that is why we want all our children to be perfect. And I
Act
love what,
perfect.
yeah, to act
Act
perfect.
perfect.
Act perfect.
Act is an act.
Is an act. It's true. It's an act. And I love what you said. If making them or pushing them to be perfect is based on so that we're not going to be judged, then do we really love them? And this is something that's a drawing board that I want our viewers to check. Check yourself, check your motherhood status. Is it based on being judged? Or do you really love them so that they get better? They get better is better than, so that they have to be perfect, which is an art, so that you will not be judged. I hope that this piece is blessing somebody. Please let us have your feedback for those of us who are on YouTube. God bless you. So I'm going to ask you this question, Tosin. So do you think moms today feel more pressured? And that question has been asked in a way to raise perfect kids than our parents did. I'm kind of bending it a little bit now.
Yeah. So let me come from the angle of projection. Okay. So I wrote something down. I'm going to read it quickly. It's the perfectionist trait. So it's a personality trait characterized by setting excessively high standards and overly critical self-evaluation, leading to behaviors like fear of failure, procrastination, and intense self-criticism. So as parents, as moms, oftentimes I believe we're projecting our own insecurities upon our children. So when we failed, it's like, I failed here. My children cannot, I better make sure they don't fail the way I failed. So even the things we're not able to do at their age, we have that expectation for them to be able to do. So we forget, absolutely, I think as moms, I think it would be more majorly projecting our own insecurities upon our children, whereby, okay, I got it wrong here. I have to make sure my kids don't get it wrong the same way. And we forgot that us getting it wrong and how we got through it, we forget those steps. So there's an expectation to come from, this is my child and you have to be perfect. We forget the middle, the process and everything else that leads to that. With us, we failed. We couldn't get from point A to point B. So we're expecting the kids to go from point A from point A to point B. So it's, I wouldn't say it's the pressure of the society really, but more so our own expectation and our own projections on our children. Really, I'm going to say this as kindly as possible. I believe, we have damaged kids. We have the different levels of damage and insecurities, and because the kids we're raising these days, I believe they're not even as strong as when we were being raised. We faced everything. We're able to maneuver the challenges, but these days, these kids, it's only God that can help us. That said, I believe most kids that are going through situations now, parents caused it. Parents have to take full responsibility for whatever issues our kids are going through, for whatever damage, for whatever our kids are projecting. It comes from home. They were babies before the society. So they came from, so whatever we see, I believe 100% that the family setup, the family dysfunction plays 100%, 101% into what our children become. So family before society for me.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
so you believe that do you now feel that the prayer from your parents is more than your prayer on your children, or the
No,
prayer?
mine is crazy. My pressure, I didn't even have so much pressure from my parents. Remember my background. So remember we have different backgrounds. Some have very stern fathers
Mhm,
and
mhm,
like military
mhm,
situation,
mhm.
the whole shebang.
Camp, boot camp.
Mine was worse.
Mhm.
If I see, I'm going to be very honest here. If I could go back in time and do things over, I would do it differently with
Awesome.
my children. That's still something, that's one of the things. Every time I go to bed, that's one of the things that still hurts my heart with the way, coming from our background, St. Louis,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
structure, the regimen and everything. I was like a
Sharp,
soul
sharp.
because and I was mom already. Remember, I already had the training of raising my kids. So I was coming in with that experience of, oh, this has to be this way, so yeah, that's one thing that I would change. I would do differently if given the opportunity.
That's
It
awesome.
was just mine was worse. Our parents they're never home. They're never home. My mom was never home. We were just left to do things by ourselves. Do you understand? But me being a stay-at-home mom, I can't begin. We can't, this is not even the platform for that discussion. But I'll do things differently if I have to, if given the opportunity, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm still going to stay on you, Tosi.
Okay.
So when we talk about perfection trap for our kids today,
Mhm.
what does that picture look like? Is it all straight A's, the
Ah.
perfect social life, excelling in every extracurricular? What do you think?
Okay, I think I wrote something. I wrote it down. Let me see. For me, let me start with the homework, because I had my kids very close. They're like Irish twins. So it was like raising twins at the same time. So a typical example is if the assignment, the homework says give 6 examples, my kids have to give 10. I'm like, you can do better, Yeah, no, 10. Don't stop. You have to push yourself. Give them more.
That's right.
And then
Yes.
when they have to do their writing, I'm like a scholar of English scholar. Once I read it, it's like pam pam. They have to redo it and then when it comes to their award ceremony, I never missed it. I love hearing them call my kids'
Your
names.
children's name.
Tony, pra, pra, pra. After the thing, I'll now display the certificate, the awards. So it was really for me, to be honest, because it was like pushing the kids beyond the limits. I didn't let them
Mhm,
find themselves. So
mhm,
everything I did, that trap, that perfectionist trap, really, I think is more for the parents than it is for the kids.
mm.
We
Thank
just overdo things just to maintain this facade of my children are the best, they're on top. There is no
that's
99 it has to be 100 or nothing for me.
that's right.
I drove my kids crazy, I promise you.
That's right. I hear you. I know.
Because we're coming from St. Louis. We wake up,
Are you
lunchtime, break
kidding
time,
me?
siesta time. It was like a barracks here.
That's right.
And then
Honestly
and at some
speaking,
point, my son especially they resented it and fought it.
mhm.
So when I say
I
dysfunctionality comes from home, we need to stop looking at everybody and looking when it
mm,
comes to managing our children's
mm,
issues.
mm,
Looking.
that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
One time there was one time that we Dignity of Womanhood, we had this program. And this program, I actually brought one of our senior, I forgot her name. Oh my goodness. She's based in UK,
Mhm.
and she's a counselor, and I think yeah, something like that, therapist. And so we brought her to Dignity of Womanhood, and we had this wonderful discussion. She made us realize that our firstborns were our practical, our
Ah, oh.
I mean, it was huge. So you know what we did? It was on Zoom, and
Wow.
we brought our firstborns with us,
Ah.
and we each mother we went into what is it called? You know this section, what is it called? You know, you go to your room. They created room for us at Dignity of War on this same platform. They created room for us, so you go in to with your son or your daughter, whoever your firstborn is, and we actually had to go through discussion, serious discussion. I cannot believe I was really crying. I was crying when I was asking my son. I said, "How was it those days?" He said, "Well, it was tough, Mama. It was tough. It was tough."
I
And
didn't get to, my son actually did that by himself. I think it
wow,
was the Christmas of 22. I will never forget it in my life. I will never. From I think it was Christmas of 2022. He had like pages and pages and pages that he had written, and he sat me and their father, and he read it from the beginning, how we made him feel. Section, I had my section, their dad had their own section, and mine, blah, 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 how I would push him, how I would baba. And then, it was, no, 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 no. But I think it was actually very needed because it gave him the opportunity to speak his mind. And that's one thing I always do now. They're
right.
grown.
It's very needed.
Very needed. My son
It's
is
very needed.
20. My daughter is going to be 19 in December. So they're grown for. So I treat them as adults now. We're friends. We talk. But then,
awesome.
growing up with the pressure, there's so many things, new mom, new relationship. It was I just relocated. There was so many factors that played into that for me personally. There were some personal issues as well. So it was like taking out my frustration on my son. He bought the brunt. So when my daughter, being the girl, I did the complete opposite with my daughter because I didn't want to raise her the way I was raised. So I had to be intentional. I was more intentional with my daughter than I was with my son. My son bought the brunt. I feel so bad. I mean, it makes me, every time I think about it, I cry. I wish it was different. I wish I knew what I know now.
Yes, I
It would
know.
have been so
I hear you.
different.
I hear you. And for all our mothers out there listening to us, I want you to know that you are not alone. It's a journey. We've been through all of this, that things that we wish we had known before now. And so it's just this broadcast comes to you as a means of comfort, not to judge you, not to make you feel bad, but to comfort. I have been in this situation before. I cried as well. I cried and I felt sorry. And I'm glad that I had that opportunity with my first to apologize that I am sorry. And that was a healing time for both myself and my son. So moms, please don't fall back on those things that they used to raise up. A mother is always a mother, adult is always an adult. Those are things that are not helpful in this generation. So don't say you are always a mother and so you do not need to apologize.
Our mothers are always right. We're always right. No, we're
When you
not.
need to.
We have to be able to. They
Yes.
need to
So
hear
we're
it
not
from
always, we're
us.
not perfect.
They
Right.
need to
That's
hear
right.
it.
So
Absolutely.
right. So this question goes to Trish. Trish, I'm going to be on you for a while. What are some of the real hurts or negatives or consequences that you've observed in children who are terrified of failing?
Okay, let me go to that answer. When a child finds themselves in a perfection trap, definitely they are stressed. They're stressed because they're trying to meet up to this great expectation.
Right.
And when a child is stressed, rather than them to be productive, it's actually counterproductive because that child will be stressed out, they will burn out, they will have anxiety, and they will not be doing what they really want to do. out of a passion, but out of obligation. So it's like you forced the child to do science in school because you want the child to be a doctor or whatever. And the child also knows that I cannot fail. I must pass all my exams. That's another perfection that the child must achieve. So this child is in school, is sitting in class, or she's sitting in class. She is cramming everything. She is cramming everything. She is doing the exam. She is passing the exam, but she's not really learning. She's not really learning. So the child will bring you the result you want, but the child does not really understand what they've been taught. You think, oh, but of course, my child has passed our exams. But all of us that we've been through schools, we know it. We know the subjects we did not like, and we only crammed it to pass it. Today, if you ask me questions on economics, I will tell you the answer because I loved that subject. But ask me any question on geography. I can't help you.
That's right.
Do you understand? Because I can't even remember a thing. I wasn't interested in it. But, you know, it's like you're being forced to do something you're not interested in. And that is the problem with children in a perfectionist trap or in a perfection trap, whichever way you want to describe it. It leads to stress, burnout, it's counterproductive, it causes anxiety, it causes resentment, like Tosi has said. The child is going to harbor that resentment, and overall, they become underachievers. Because whilst you are able to control them, you are pushing them, go to this lesson, do this assignment, do this. There will come to a time where you don't have that control anymore. And their way to break out of that trap is to retaliate or to walk or to go the opposite direction of what they know you want. Right. And the opposite direction might be failure, but they would want to do it just to spite you. Like, okay, now I'm free. I'm not going to school anymore. You will see some students or some children, I've seen many children that they've sent to me, talk to my son, talk to my daughter, and the child will say, my mom wanted A star and I've given her A star, but I don't really want to go to uni. Now that's not what I want. I want to go and learn electricity or electrician, or I want to go and work in a store, or I want to be a fashion designer. I've given her the result she wants. So like you were saying, when we were growing up, we didn't have that much freedom. And that is why many of us went to uni to study something we never used, because that is what they wanted us to study. But that's not really what we wanted. So we all went to uni. Most of us went to uni to become accountants, engineer, doctor, whatever. That's really not what we wanted. And as soon as we got the degree, we said, oh yeah, take the degree. Now I'm going to do what I want to do. But in this generation, it's changed. They are retaliating earlier than we did. Many of them will not even go to uni because once they are 18, they're like, no, I'm now doing what I like. Right. Oh, but you got scholarship. You have scholarship. You'll say, that's for you. It's you that wants to go to that school. I'm not interested. Or some of them will go to the school and flunk it because now you're not there in uni to pressure them to attend their classes, to do their assignments, to do all that. So that's why I said earlier, when we are teaching our children to work towards a perfect goal, we need to also give them the tools. Understand them. That's true. Let them, like Tosi said, like you said yourself, Faye, we all made mistakes. My first child is a boy as well, and we would joke, and I'll tell him, when he says, Mom, do you know you used to do? I said, Deshaun, you are my training ground now. It is you that I used to learn parenting. Because it's true, I didn't know how. So but we've had those conversations as well. And I said, you know what? I did what I did because that is all I knew how to do. Yeah. But as I got older, I started to learn other ways to do it, and I started to amend it. But you being the first child, you took the brunt of it before I became educated. And that is, so any parents out there, don't beat yourself up. Nobody was given a manual as a parent. We all did our best. The best we thought that was right. That's what we did. And where it becomes a problem is where you refuse to change, is where you refuse to relearn, and you continue to repeat that bad behavior or that bad training. So we're all learning. But when a child, to go back to your question, when a child is finds themselves in a perfection trap, it usually leads to underachievement, because there will come to a point where that child will totally burn out and you won't have any control over them anymore. And now they will now go wayward, or they would become very complacent, or just go and do something that is beyond them. But at that point, they just feel like, you know what, all my life I've been reading. I want to stop reading. I just want to take it easy. So that is usually the result of a child found in a trap.
So we need wisdom.
For sure.
We do. We need wisdom in dealing with these children.
Yeah.
Because now we know that if you push them too hard, they will drop the ball. And I love one of the things that Trish said: give them tools when you are teaching them. Most of the time, our parents don't even give us tools. We don't even know what tools look like. They tell you, "Tori e ba pe meji."
Yeah.
Don't do. That's how they teach us. They said don't. They will even be telling us don't do. If you tell this generation don't do, they say, now you told me not to do. Now I didn't do. What is your problem? But thank God, if we push them too hard, so hard, then it's going to be a problem. There's always a way out. So a mom is listening, watching us right now, and is wondering, okay, with all of everything that these ladies are talking about, how then will I be able to help my child? All right. This question still goes to you, Trish. What does it look like to teach a child that it's okay to fail without encouraging laziness or carelessness? Because that is their devil. That's the zone that many mothers are. You understand what? At the same time, you see the struggle. And so how do you balance it all? So when is it a good time? When is it okay?
It isn't as much that there's a particular time when it's okay. I think, number one, to teach your child that it's okay to fail does not mean that the child will fail. It's like we said earlier, it's a journey. And they said, there's this saying that goes that the only person that fails is the one that stops trying. But you have to also let that child understand that failure comes with success. There is nobody in this world that is successful that has not experienced failure at some point during their journey. And it is from failure that you will learn how to do it better. If you give a child an assignment and they miss some subjects or some topics, some questions there, you will now correct it. Then the child will look at the correction. So next time the child sees that question, they now know how to do it better.
Right.
Teaching your child that failure is okay. Number one, model it yourself. Be true to your child. Let's stop these things our parents used to say. I got A1 throughout. I never failed a subject. I was first in my class. All that. Okay, if you were good, but we all know most of the time that it was a lie. So model it yourself. Admit your own mistakes. There's nothing shameful or belittling if you admit your own mistake. Oh, I messed up. I got it wrong. Oh, I did not know this. You know that thing I did? Now I've just learned how to do it properly. And then talk through the failure. Share stories of places or things, experiences that you yourself have done. Your child is struggling in school. Don't let the child feel less than. Just say, look, I say to my children, when I was in secondary school, I didn't know maths. So I did not know maths. It was a struggle. But like we said earlier, even though I was failing the maths, my parents, all they were telling me, you must not fail. Nobody said, oh yeah, let me get you extra lesson so that you can do. No, they didn't give me that. But they were telling me I must not fail. So that's what I mean about the tools. What tools are you putting in place?
That's true.
So some people will say, lesson teachers, they charge so much, but you are willing to buy a shoebi, but you're not willing to pay for lesson. Yet you still want your child to come with A star. Your child, I say to my children, you don't know that child in your class that is getting A does not have two brains. You know why? What have you put in place? You have your textbook. You have time to study. You have light to study, because yes, in some societies, there's no light. So you have light to study. If it's small solar lamp you can get for your child so your child can do their homework or to study, then do it. Some investments are important. You can't just be saying, I want you to pass, pass, pass. How? Put those tools in place. Is it lesson teacher they need? And if the child is not understanding it, it's okay. Find out your child is doing science and she's struggling. Okay, let's step back a bit. What can we do? Is it lesson teachers we need? Or is this child an essay writing child? Because she's brilliant does not mean she must be a doctor. Not all brilliant people must do science. So it's about understanding your child and letting them understand, like, okay, look, this term you're struggling. Maybe your result will not be as good as we expect it to be, but we are working towards making it better. It's very important, you know, change it. What did you learn? Okay, from this thing, how did you learn? How did you fail? What can we do better? Talk to your children. Many of the times, like Tosin has said earlier, our parents were not talking to us. They did not know our struggle. They did not even know our limitations. They just know that next door, their son is doing science. My daughter must do science. That person's child is going to uni to study accounting. No, you cannot go and study sociology. You must do accounting. But I don't like numbers, you know? So understand your child. And then let the child know, if you start this course, I'll use myself as an example. My son is in uni, he's studying computer science, or he started with computer science. After his first year, he didn't fail, but he really, really struggled because he was not really connecting with all the coding modules they were doing. When he was going into his second year, he started talking about, it's not, okay, at some point, he was even thinking of leaving uni completely because he didn't think, it was feeling like it is too much for him. And I was like, okay, what can we do? Number one, let me find you an internship during the summer holiday. So you are going to be around somebody that it's not just about computing, about business, about working in an environment, understanding what is out there, the expectations, see other areas that might help you, encourage you. Then the next thing was, this course you are doing, what are the alternatives? If you don't do this computer science, what can we do? We spoke to this person, we spoke to that person. Eventually, he changed this course to networking and cybersecurity. And now he is more settled. But if I say, oh no, because your brother did computer science and that person did computer science and everybody says computer science is the best, you must do it. At the end of the day, the child would, we've heard of stories where the children would drop out of uni and the parents would not even know. And what do?
That's scary. That's very scary.
It is scary. But so it's better to be realistic. Work towards your child's strength rather than the society's expectation. Work towards your child's strength. Listen to your children. Talk to them. Create a safe opportunity, environment for them to be able to say, I don't know this. I need help, without feeling judged, without feeling like they're going to be rebuked. Those things are very, very important. We're not teaching them to be lazy. but we're teaching them to strengthen their strengths, if you understand what I mean. Like, this is your strength, let's work on it. You are a good speaker, you are a good essay writer. Okay, let's look at courses that would complement your ability, rather than say, oh, just because I want my child to be an engineer, you must be an engineer, and the child does not even know physics, or the child is struggling with physics. So the reality is that child is not going to enjoy the course and may drop out, or may finish the course and just give you the certificate and then go and start all over again. So those are some ways. I mean, they're quite there are many ways to teach a child to that failure is okay. Praise the child in the little. If it's 100% and they got 40, don't beat the child for getting 40. Praise okay, you got 40, well done. But this 40 is not enough. What can we do? How can we get better? What are we missing? So just if you praise in the little things, it would encourage them to do better. But if all they see is this big stick that's going to come down on them if they don't achieve 100, it will lead to stress. It will lead to burnout.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Trish. Thank you. So from what you said, I hear, let us stop all this competition. Your neighbors, very soon you will start seeing, there's this kind of anxiety when it's May on social media, May, June, when people are doing graduation. Okay. Or in September, when children are going to college, you see people to Harvard, to all stop. Let's stop this competition. Do you know it is now on social media, but back in the days, it is our neighbor. But now it is now on social media. Let's stop the competition. Your children's strengths are different from the ones that you are seeing. They can be better than them. They can be of equal strength, or maybe less strength. But please let us know our children. Like Trish said, know your child's strength and work towards those areas. Work towards the strengths and also work on those weaknesses, by giving them tools, excuse me, the tools that will help them to succeed, the tools that will help them in that area of weakness, And I also want to add this. We keep pushing it to the children. What about we asking them, where can I help? And how can I help? I love the area of praise that Trish hit on. Let's praise them. A child is not totally bad. No. God created them, and God cannot create an idiot. He's not evil. He cannot create something bad. He cannot be wasting his time to be creating what is nonsense, even to the world. Much more, you are the mother. So if you see it from that perspective that God created this child, there's a strength that you have not discovered. You just need to help that child to discover it. So let's praise them, and let's also come when we start seeing those areas of weakness. It might be what is a weakness in one child is not a weakness in another child, but at least come to that reality. I need to help this child, and how can I be of help? I think we should be asking them, how can I be of help? How can I be of help? And please, mothers that are our viewers, please also note that what we're discussing is not only based on academics. It goes across the board, either social areas of their life, academic areas of their life, in mental, whatever we're talking about. Excuse me. Make sure we are dealing with every area of the life of these children. So as we round up now, before we go to our final thoughts, I want us to discuss, and this question will be for Tosin. Why is failure actually a crucial and necessary part of a child's development?
Okay, so
And what skills do they need? Yeah.
what skills do they need to not fail?
So, yeah, what skills do they build when things don't go their way?
Okay, so
Of course, they are building skills, but what are those skills that they are building? They don't even know.
yeah, take the first part again of the
Okay, the first one is, why is failure actually a crucial and necessary part of a child's development?
All right, so let me come from this. Let me start with this. Parenting is not a one shoe fits all. So, like Trish has mentioned, we really need to discover our children's strength, area of strength. And then the one, I think one mistake we all make is we compare, even it's one thing to compare kids to the neighbor's kids or to what we see on social media, which is not always the case. But then we compare our own kids against each kid. Like you could compare your son to your daughter. There's still that competition and, oh, do you not see your brother doing this? Or can you not do what your sister is doing? We all, I
Comparison.
hope, yeah, I hope we can be real and say let me speak for myself. It's not something I would, because it's a girl, like I said, I tried to raise my son differently to how I raised my daughter. So there's really no room for comparison. If anything, is my son that will say, oh, you treated me better than you treat me. You do this for me. You let her get away with this. I said, okay, she's a girl. You have to do it differently. So that's what I tell him. But notwithstanding, we need to recognize their strength and their where they struggle. We all have, even as parents, we have our areas where we struggle still. Even with our learning and relearning, we still struggle in some areas. How much more our kids? How can we expect that they won't struggle in some ways? So we need to let them understand, okay, this is once you recognize their strength and their area of where they're struggling, we then find ways to support them where they're struggling. But when they struggle and they fail in that area, we're not, because we already recognize that they're struggling in this area. So we're not as hard. We shouldn't be as hard when they now struggle in their area of weakness. We always should just be that support. And then we have to let them be our friends. We have to befriend our kids so that they can come to us and talk and have that freedom to just talk to us without holding back and without the fear like we had with our parents. I mean, most of us don't. I don't even remember having some deep conversations about puberty, menstruation, boyfriend. My daughter is 19 and she talks to me about everything. Everything. Like we talk, because I now do it. I listen more, and then I don't do this. No, you let them talk. Let them make. That's one of the mistakes we make. We don't let them talk. When they're trying, is it only you? Is only you? You're always having problems. You're always, so we shut it down, and then the kids shut down. Instead of talking to us, they're talking to friends. They're talking to the people they game with. Now they have the games and they have this alternate world outside of the real world. They have friends that they will never meet in this lifetime that they talk to. So it's very important to let them understand that I know you're struggling here, and whatever you need me to do, however you need me to help you, let me know. So that once they drop the ball, because they will always drop the ball. Once they drop the ball, they understand it's not the end of the world. The mom or dad is always a cook. I tell them I'm a text away. Don't even call. Text me. If there's anything in this life, just text me and I'm there. So I have that open conversation with them. I know you're going to, you do well, you're this, but if you're struggling in any way, let me know. So we just need to support them in that way and let them understand that they're not always going to get it right. We don't get it right. Why would we expect our kids to get it right all the time? Come on. We put too much expectation, the things we can't even do, and we expect it of our kids. It's craziness. That's what, you know. So as parents, we know our struggles.
Mhm.
It's like you're telling them you can't yell, and then all they see mom and dad do is yell. I mean, you know what our kids these days call their parents? Hypocrites.
Hypocrite.
And
Mm,
our kids now are so vocal, they don't care. No, they don't even, they would say it to your face.
mhm.
They'll call you an hypocrite. Mom, you're an hypocrite. You said I should not do this, but you're the one doing it. They will say it. And you can't, what can you do? Because they're right. Are they not right? So
Yeah.
once we know we fail in some ways, why would we not be able to support them? So we need to let them understand, see, life is ups and downs, ebbs and flows. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. But we need to start having this conversation with our kids so that once they drop the ball, the confidence is like, oh, I'm not in trouble. I hope I'm not in trouble. So it helps the kids know that, okay, mom, I did this. So, oh, it's okay. Okay, what can we do? So the open line of communication is key as well.
Mm.
That expectation that let them know there's ups and downs. I feel sometimes too, you see it, and you see, I just use myself and I'm very open. Now, with them, I'm very real and honest. When I'm struggling, I let them know. They
Awesome.
do. So that's one thing I would encourage.
That's awesome. Thank you. Help us to prepare for your final thoughts now.
Yes,
Now, I'm going to talk to, I'm going to ask Trish 2 questions, Trish. Because with all of this discussion, I'm sure there's a mom out there and saying, mba, mba, mba. This thing these ladies are discussing, this is not this. If I do this with Felix, hey, why? Because Felix is kind of laid back. You know, what we're discussing now is not one size fits all. It is, all we are discussing is true. However, maybe there is, please forgive me if your son is Felix. Forgive me if your daughter is Teresa. I'm just using that as an example. Maybe Teresa is laid back and Teresa always need push. Maybe mom has checked Teresa all the time. If I don't push, if I tell her there is a loophole of failure, she will never get it right. But at the same time, we cannot continue to push, so that Teresa will not hop inside pit. How do we balance life with such kids? That's number one. Number two, you are going to give us practical day-to-day phrases that we can use to reframe failure to our children, to our kids, because it's like perfect. It doesn't exist, in all honesty. However, failure, does it exist as well? Can we reframe it? Can we start changing the game? As against making your children to see themselves as failure, let's rename it. And how can we rename it? Over to you, Trish.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's take the first one, the laid back child. Okay. I'll use my children as an example. My son is laid back. My daughter is
opposite.
firecracker.
Yeah.
She knows what she wants. She's bang, bang, bang. Oh, I've read that book. I've searched for that thing. I've researched it. I've done, I'm like, okay. Like, oh, I don't have to. I've never had to push her to say, go and read your book. Go and do this. Are you not studying? Even sometimes I'll go like, Auntie, take a break. Because that is just her nature.
Yes.
On the other side, my son is laid back. His life is like, okay, I want to study. I will study from 12 to 12:30. Then I will take a break from 12:30 to 12:40. Then I'll drink water he will plan everything out. And I'll go like, I don't understand. How do you know it's only that time that you need? So even though we don't want to teach our children that it's okay to be lazy, like we said, every child is different. Like there's a saying, the two children raised in the same home were not raised by the same parents, because the parenting of one child would have to be different to the other child, because even twins, they are different. So you have to take each child as they are. Learn, you know, your children's personality. If you feel that one child needs a bit more push, then you have to push that child. So it is not the same blanket for every child. Some children, like I said, my daughter, I don't even think I need to push her, because she's doing what she needs to do. Some children need a lot of push. Some children need a little push. Some children will tell you, some children have a natural competitive spirit. Some children don't. When my son was in, I think maybe year 1 of secondary school, I said to him, oh, there's this, I saw the result of the people in your class. Then this guy got A, that one got, he said, Shebi is their business. If they want to get A, they can get A. What's his own? I was like, don't you want to get A like them? He said, Mom, I did not fail. And I've come to understand his personality. He's not after the awards. He doesn't care about awards. He doesn't care about the accolades. He will just do enough to pass. That's his own personality. So that kind of child, my own is, okay, I have accepted, but you must not fail. Oh. But he'll tell you, say, Mom, I'm okay. Don't worry. And he would, so every child, you have to learn how to mold each child. With him, I knew that I have to be hands-on. Make sure he's doing his homework. Make sure he has done this. Make sure he has done that. Put things in place. Do you need a lesson? Do you need this? What kind of subject is he doing in school? And this thing is, like when he did his A levels, he did physics, maths, and chemistry. So I know he's not dull, but he does not want A. He just wants to pass. That's his own personality. And so have we pushed him to uni? Yes, he's in uni. He's doing the course he chose to do. He's not failing in school. But at the same time, I know that as his mother, I still have to keep an eye on him because of his personality. Because I know if I don't, he can slip too far back. So I'm always like, did you go to your course today? Did you? The other, I won't bother, because I know if it was my daughter, I won't ask her. She'll probably be the first person in our lecture hall. But with him, bros, are you sleeping? Make sure you go to class. Oh, where is your timetable? Oh, and I have to. So you will have to learn to understand our children and give them those tools. And again, if I come too hard, I have learned that it did not work. So now I'm his friend. Hey, what's up? Bros, are you not supposed to be sleeping? Oh yeah, go and sleep. Oh, mom, I'm fine. Okay. What time does your lecture start tomorrow? It's starting at 11. Okay. 10:30, 9:30, I'll call his phone. How are you, bros? Oh, you're awake? I won't talk about class, because I don't want him to feel like I'm calling him for class. But he knows. He knows. But I'll just play it as, I'm just checking on you, just making sure you're getting ready. Okay, call me after your class. At another time, he may joke about it. Mom, you are a monitoring spirit. I said, sorry, it's my role as your mother. I have to be your monitoring spirit. So every child, once you understand your child, if you feel your child is laid back, then push them. Don't push them. Don't compare them. Don't tell them to be achieving. It's not impossible if I say he should achieve an A. But what is more important is that I'd rather he get a B comfortably than me pushing him to go and get an A to the point that he will now say, okay, I'm not even studying. I'm not going to get a D. You understand? So it's about understanding each child and giving them the tools and pushing them to keep going, keep doing it. Talk to me, like Tosin said, let me understand your need. Let me understand how I can help you. Let me understand what I can do to support you, whatever it is. So that is what I have learned to do with my own laid back child. I have another girl that I'm mentoring, my sweet Esther. Even the way she walks is laid back. Everything about her is laid back. And I've learned that with her, I have a weekly session with her. So I'm like, okay, what did we do this week? Okay, let's do this better. Again, she's doing science. Is she failing? No. But when it comes to writing notes, hey, Esther cannot write notes. So what did we do? I told the school, give me her notes for the term. And she writes her notes before the class, because writing notes during the class does not work for her. So it's about understanding what works for each child. With her, if you tell her to write notes during the class, she's not going to write the notes fully, and she's not going to hear what the teacher is saying. So let's write our notes at the weekend. So that's what we've done now. We write our notes at the weekend, and during the class, our notes are ready, and she's just there, jotting, understanding what the teacher is saying. So it's about understanding your child, knowing what your child, career-wise, whatever it is, just understand your child and give them the push and the tools that would help them. Moving to the next question, you said phrases to encourage our children. Like we talked about, use phrases like I said earlier, I messed up, I didn't do this properly, this is what I learned from it. Share those stories with your children. Don't just tell them about your successes. Tell them about your failures. And in your telling them, let them understand that it was a failure, not that it was somebody's fault. It was the mechanic that caused the, own it. Like, you know what? This thing, I totally missed it. I didn't do it properly. Now I've learned it. This is what I learned. This is how I got better. Another word you can ask your children is, what did you learn? Explain it to me. Because you cannot correct what you don't know. So if you don't know where they are struggling, then you can't correct it. So ask them, what did you learn? What do you understand? What are we missing here? Then you will know how to help them or who to bring in to help them. Because as parents, they say it's a village that raises a child. Be friends with your children's teachers. They are not your competition. They are your helper. Be friends with their friends' parents. Some parents would help you that you'd like, okay, look, I know that man talks about this thing. Let him talk to my son about it, or let her or she, whatever it is, help. So what have you learned? Where is the gap? That's important. And then let your children know it's okay. We will try again. What are we going to do different next time? How are we going to do it? Work with me. What do you think we can do? We're going to pick up and start again. I used a phrase earlier. The only person that fails is the one that stops trying. So let's try it again. Let's do it again. Many of us, how many times did we do JAMB? It was as if the world was coming to an end. Some people did it once. Some people did it twice, 3 times. Some people, by the time they pass the JAMB, their WAEC has expired. Then they have to go and do the WAEC again. You know, but it's about trying and not giving up. Well, what are your strengths? And a lot of it, like Tosin said, is leaving that communication line open. You know, apart from academics, our children will get to a stage where they are going to start getting into relationships. They'll start getting, having friends. You have now in this social media world, we're talking about drugs. We're talking about different kind of influences. You have to keep that communication line open. You have to learn to hear those things and not react. Because your child will come to you one day and say, Mom, guess what? I smoke weed. Hey, Shandai, Shandai, Shandai. The child will not come to you again. The child will not come to you again. Is that not a form of failure? So again, what do? It's about learning how to absorb those news and keeping that face and say, and inside you are saying, Father, Lord, help me. Yes. Yeah. Because they will tell you things. They will tell you, oh, Mom, guess what? You know that party I went to? Mom, the guys, there was a guy there and his girlfriend, they were just having sex openly. It's happening. It was happening during our time. It's happening now. Many of us did not have anybody to counsel us. Let's be that person that your child can come to, So that's another thing. I love how hard you've worked on this. That's another word of encouragement. So the child has not achieved what you expected, but at least you say, okay, I love how hard you've worked on this. Because for that child to have achieved it, they must have done some work. But
Yes.
it's about acknowledging, I love how hard you've worked on this. What have you done? How can we get it better? Maybe we need to work a bit harder, but at least you've acknowledged that first, rather than say, what nonsense is this? Because then the child is feeling like, oh, so all my efforts is useless. So that's another one. Another one I use for maybe younger children is, well, that is quite creative. It's a it's an indirect way of saying it isn't really what I'm expecting, but okay, it's quite creative, you know. So there are different ways you can encourage a child. You know, what can we do? Even use examples of successful people. Then, like I said, there's nobody that is successful today that did not go through some failure. So just like, listen, what's that woman? And J.K. Rowling's. They said she was rejected by multiple publishers before she found one. And now that book has series and series, and the movies are series and series. If she had given up, you know, she would never, nobody would know who J.K. Rowling is. Michael Jordan, for children that like sports, Michael Jordan is one I use. It was cut from his high school's basketball team. Most people didn't know that. But today, if you talk about basketball, you talk about Michael Jordan. So those are, you can use famous people. And then listen, there are lots of people that have missed it in the past that looks as if it's the end of the world. But they picked themselves up again, dusted off, and carried on. You cannot fail if you continue to try. And that is the key. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Trish. Thank you. Wow, we've had a good time discussing this topic today. When perfection hurts, teaching our children it's okay. We started with different angles to let us understand that it's coming from somewhere. Talking about our parents, talking about how they pass it on to us. In a way, we might not say it, directly, but by now you understand that we have roots. And then does it have to continue that way? At least we have learned, we have to relearn, we have to unlearn and relearn. And that is the mode that mothers should be. So I want to thank my guests on this show. Thank you so much for sharing with us, being vulnerable with us. Thank you so much. Before we close, I would like to have your final word. What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways, or maybe your advice for a mom out there listening to us? What do you want every parent, every mother that is watching to live with today? I will start with Tosin, and then Trish will round it up.
All right, thank you, Pastor Faye. So with everything we've said, I would want to encourage mothers, parents with your kids still. I mean, there's always this is an opportunity. Like I said, if I had the opportunity to go back when my kids were like under 10, I would. So I want you to be encouraged, and if there's anything that needs to be fixed or relearned and unlearned, I mean, you are the best place right now for the grown. So with everything said, I said there must be structure. There must still be structure in place. We're not just going to let our kids roam free because we don't want to hurt them, because we want them to be our friends. No, we're still parents, remember. But one thing we need to understand is we must befriend our children. I can't even overemphasize that. We must be our children's friends. That way, we're able to gain their trust and they're able to open up to us more. Then the other thing I said is our children will, we must understand our children's personalities. We've said that over and over. Understand our children's personalities. They're different. Even twins are different. And you can't, the way we handle one is going to be different to the way we handle the next child or the third child. So we need to understand what they need. They all have different needs. You know, the laid back kids, they're outgoing kids, the kids, My son doesn't like to leave the house. He's like me, he's a homebody. But my daughter, I mean, she used to be very shy, and all of a sudden she has all these friends. Where I don't even have friends. My son is like me. I'm like, okay, Tony, you need to go out more. So we need to just understand and let them be. Let them just grow and flourish in their space, however they want to be. We can only direct them, guide them, and all that. So understand their personalities. And then our children would always mimic and do what they see us do, whether we like it or not. You can be telling them one thing and they'll tell you, but mom, you're not doing this thing that you're asking us to do. So you want them to not be, you don't want them to gossip, but they see you're on the phone gossiping about other people, and you say, yo, don't, or you don't, there's so many instances of things that we do as parents and we think are children, but the kids we're raising now will call us out on our crap. They will. And I welcome it. I love it. Because we can't continue to hide under the guise of I'm the parent, I can do what I want. No, no, no. It's not about do what I say, not what I do. They will do what you do. They'll call you out. So we have to be ready for that. If you don't want that, then we need to work on our own issues and shortcomings as well, so that kids don't, and so that we don't continue to project that on them. And then I said it already, parenting is not one shoe fits all. We need to find what works for each kid. And then we need to be, what else is this? So we gain their trust. And then one important thing is we should help them with their spirituality. A lot of kids don't go to church with their parents anymore. Most teenagers, once they've just grown 18 in America, they just do what they want to do, and you can't force them. So because they see, you're this person at church outside and you're with different people at home. So they're like hypocrites. No. So we need to help them with the spiritual view, not make the spirituality about religion or church going, but about finding the inner peace and find God, who God is to them. We need to guide them on that. It's very important. So that when they go outside, the world is very weird and crazy now. So there's some crazy things going on. Social media is not helping. There's some terrible things happening. So once we help them with that background, they always have something to fall back on. And like, oh, I don't think I should do this. Trust me, there's drugs, there's sex, you don't even want to imagine what the kids are exposed to on social media. You'll be shocked. Because sometimes I'm like, but there's a way you have to help them navigate. There's the issue of them puberty, finding themselves, and all this stuff. It's a lot with a young adults, kids in their, teenage, even from twins, from young, even much younger now. So there are a lot of things. So we have to help them with their spirituality. At least they should be able to tell what is right from wrong. Not you telling them church. It's not about church. We all know that. And then we need to always pray over their lives. It's very important. I anoint my kids. I give them, when they go to school, I give them anointing oil. I teach them before you go to class, anoint yourself. So these are little things. And one thing I always tell my son is we are not our mistakes or our failures. We need to let them understand that we're not our failures. Those are just things that happened. It doesn't determine how far we go or how well we do. And then open line of communication. Talk to your kids, the little ones, let them be free, let them be open, let them just be able to express themselves. And we should give them a safe place to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tosin. Thank you. Thank you. Trish?
Thank you, Pastor Faye. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My final thoughts on this is, if our children grow up understanding that failure is not final, they will be more likely to try harder. They'll be more likely to take risk, and they'll be bouncing back stronger.
Mhm.
So it is very, very important to let your children know and understand that failure isn't final. It is only a step in the journey. And it is a step that would help you become a better person. Like, if a child is not doing well in class, they would usually advise, let that child repeat that class. The reason is because taking the child further, the child is going to get weaker and weaker. But if you allow the child to take a step back and relearn that thing they have not understood, most cases, they get better. That's the idea. So once making your child understand that failure isn't final, tell them that you can't be great at something right away. It's not possible. It takes time. Some of us have adult children that they're starting in the business world or in the commercial world. Let them understand it's not overnight you become a manager. Let them understand it is okay. Your first 2 years after university, you usually do the worst jobs in the office. It's not nice. It's probably, oh, I'm overburdened, because again, it's a transition. So let them understand that it is not straight away that you become great. You will have stops. You would have limitations, but you keep trying. And the more you practice, the more you push yourself, the better you get. And even we as adults, some of us still need to break away from that culture of people's expectation that we should be perfect. Because it is in that need for us to look perfect that we put that same pressure on our children. So we mothers, fathers, we ourselves, we need to work on ourselves and stop listening to the imaginary society. Because when you say society, there's a marriage counseling that I did with a friend. And what the lady said is, who are the society? Who exactly are these people? Who are they? How many people have come to you to say, this is what I expect of you? Usually it's our own imagination of what we think the society expects. So let us ourselves, the parents, the adults here, let us work on ourselves. Let's move away from this fake life, from this limitation that we put on ourselves that, oh, I must be perfect. Oh, I cannot leave the house if this is not like this. I cannot do this no, because like it or not, either directly or indirectly, we are putting that same perfection need on our children, either our children or young children, adults, or whatever, that we have. So my final thoughts of this is, nobody is perfect. We are all on a journey in this world, and we're on a journey to be perfect. That perfection happens when we make it to heaven. You cannot be perfect on this earth. It is impossible. We'll continue to work, and we'll continue to fall. We'll continue to rise. We'll continue to strive. We'll continue to be successful and be stronger and go towards that goal of perfection. So help us all, God. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Trish. Thank you, ladies, for tonight or this afternoon. And for our viewers out there, thank you so much for staying to this moment, watching, and I believe that you are learning something. I also want to let a mother know, at least with this broadcast, you will agree with me. If you have been that mother, always judging other mothers, you will stop from today, because you are part of the problem. You keep on judging others. You keep on judging other children. Oh, that child. Oh, that girl, that boy. You are the reason why the mother keeps walking on toes and getting edgy with her children. So please help our mothers to be best mothers to their children. That's one being said. Number two, and I have a list of them, but I'm not going to, let me not say everything. We've heard everything so much. I mean, everything today. However, one of the key things that I would like for you to also take with you is that you are a mother. Motherhood, it's a ministry. So it is part of our ministry to help these children. And if you don't know how to manage this ministry well, you may be underperforming or pushing them to the other side. So please, let us make sure that we're doing our best to do what God will want us to do. Even we ourselves, when we fail, God doesn't kill us. I mean, so we are able to approach the throne of grace and be able to receive grace. So the same way with us and with our children. One thing that I also want us to know is that we cannot be living our lives through these children. Yes, there is a life that you wanted, but because you are not able to get it, or maybe you think your enemies are getting at you, then you want to live your life through these children. Makes you to push and push so hard that these children don't, are now scared and are leaving, below or dropping the ball. So let's reach out to their teachers. Let's reach out. Let's help them. It's part of the tools that Trish was telling us. Let us give them the tool. You cannot be attacking a child or be putting pressure on a child that you are not taught. Please, let's do all of this and make sure that we're doing our best to help these children, not to crucify them, but to help them to be their best. And the best, you have to define what the best means in each child's life. What is best in A's life is different from what is best in B's life. Stop this comparison. Let's know our children's strengths. Let's break away from all these expectations to be perfect. If you are able to break away from it, you will be able to help your children also to be able to break away from it. The God factor is the major one, that children are able to hold on to God and be able to know that God is in this journey with me. Even if they fail, they know that there is a God who will help them through the journey. Where your hand cannot reach, God's hand can reach it. I love the area of prayer. Pray along with them. They are able to come to you and say, Mom, I need help in this area. So where your hands cannot touch, the hand of God will go richer, we go higher and deeper than that. And so we conclude this evening by saying that you have done a good job, moms, but let's do a better job by not putting our children under prayer. Failure, it's a journey. We have failed in so many areas, and we also need to let them know that failure, it's a journey. No one is perfect. Only God is perfect. Now we can bring them to the God who is perfect to be able to help them to fix the weaknesses or the vulnerabilities in their lives. May the Lord help us all in Jesus' name. We now use this medium and we pray for any child out there that is struggling in one way or the other. We pray that the hand of the Lord will touch that child in the name of Jesus. We also pray for moms who are completely exhausted, who are stressing in this area of our discussions. We pray that the Lord will come through for you and you will receive the grace to be able to forge ahead without hindering or hurting that child in the name of Jesus. Thank you once again, our viewers. We love you, and we will see you by God's grace next month, which is the third Saturday of every month. We come live and we're discussing issues that pertains to mom and their children. God bless you. Thank you so much. Till we meet again. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.